Overwatch League Season 6 is vastly approaching, but while we wait for things to get started next week, how about a little break? Let's shift gears over to the Overwatch World Cup, which is making its return for the first time in 3 years. There hasn't been a whole lot of World Cup content on this channel since it was announced, but this is an exception where we need to talk about it. Team South Korea has officially unveiled their team for this upcoming tournament, and it's as good as you think it'd be. Earlier today, they announced, along with their head coach Rush, that their roster would consist of Hanbin, Fearless, Lip, Sparkle, Chio, Fielder, and Finn. That is their 7-man roster, and boy oh boy is it a doozy, because if you didn't already notice, it's basically just last year's Dallas Fuel, who I need not remind you, won the Overwatch League, plus Lip and Finn. That's not just OP. That literally sounds unfair. I don't know if anyone even stands a chance with this kind of roster that they've assembled. It's one thing to have Rush, who's a mega mind coach, but now you're giving him all of the guys that he just won a championship with and dominated in North America with for the better part of 2 years. It's that same team as last year that we know can defeat absolutely anybody with top-tier tanks, a top-tier flex DPS, one of the best backlines in the game, and now they have an even better hit scan than what they used to have. Lip is probably the best hit scan in the league in most people's opinions, so, if you're the other teams out there, what do you do to stop this? They're tanks, it's a two-headed monster, they can literally play anything you need, they're gonna be fine meta-wise. Sparkle and Lip got you covered, they both have insane pop-off potential, no worries there. Chio Fielder's already insane by themselves, but adding in Finn makes it so they have maximum flexibility with their backline. There's nothing this team can't do, basically. Maybe there's a meta or two they won't be amazing in, but that might not even matter. You're gonna have to get lucky and have one hell of a team to even stand a chance and to take maps off of these guys. Because if we're being real with ourselves, it's obvious that South Korea is not happy after their mishaps a couple of years ago, so they're going all out. It's not like this is a diverse team that shows off lots of different Overwatch League talents like we saw the last time they were there. There's no weaknesses, they're insane from top to bottom, and they already have the synergy. That's the thing. That already gives them a big time advantage over everybody else. This team literally just won the Overwatch League together, and now you're giving them Lip too. Need I say more? There's a few things we can assume based off of this roster that Coach Rush assembled. One is that clearly, or at least there's a little bit of coaching bias going on. When you have 5 players from your team last year, I think that kind of goes without saying. Could that mean he snuffed out some other guys that were potentially more deserving? Perhaps, but with how great this team synergizes, you can't exactly blame the guy. But 2, it's clear that this committee means business. They know what's at stake here, they know what they're representing, and what this means, and how much more important it is to them than basically anyone else. So Rush is making sure that victory is all but assured, and I really can't blame the guy. There are some big-time pressures that come with this position, and he wants to deliver. And it's safe to say that with this kind of roster, South Korea is absolutely back. No team really stands a chance, genuinely. Even if, the United States, let's say, go out there and just make the Toronto Defiant roster, I don't really know if that matters. They don't really stack up that well against a Korean super team like this. How do you stack up against last year's Dallas Fuel with Lip? I just don't think you can do it unless you also have a South Korean super team of your own. Even if you build a super team with all the other countries' rosters combined, they still might not have a chance. That is how deadly this Korean team is. I dig it, man. It's really crazy. It's a little sad because it feels like no one has a chance whatsoever now. You already know this team's going to be extremely OP right off the rip. It makes the World Cup not as fun and maybe a bit, too predictable for our liking, but what can you do, man? This stuff happens. We might as well enjoy all of the other matches that don't involve South Korea, and then maybe, if you're really into that kind of stuff, you can watch Korea thoroughly bash anybody in their way. They're the ultimate favorites. Literally, South Korea, they probably could have made a bunch of amazing teams that could have won it all. I'm talking 6, maybe even 7 teams. But this one might be one of the best they possibly could make. Maybe you prefer Smurf over Fearless. It's understandable because Smurf is just a more well-rounded player, but they have Hanbin there, so not the hugest deal in the world. And when looking at the DPS line, some people may prefer some other flex options over Sparkle. Maybe Prophet or Proper. But Sparkle ain't a bad option, because again, the synergy's there. We know that this guy can be clutch, so it's not like he's a bad option. It really does not make much of a difference. It's just a matter of preference and who you want to see win the gold medal. And with the backline, I think it's basically perfect. Maybe you sneak Shu in there over Finn. I don't even know if Shu wanted to trial, but you could maybe make it slightly better that way. But again, not really necessary. They're still OP. It will not make a difference. They're the favorites to win the gold medal. Now, on the topic of other guys you may have wanted to see, I think it's important we talk a bit more about the DPS situation. A lot of people are going to sit there and say, where the heck is Proper? Why is the best player in the entire game not here to win a gold medal? Well, initially, we all believed it was because he didn't actually want to try out, and he was maybe a bit more focused on the Overwatch League, but as it turns out, there's more to the story. Allegedly, Proper got caught boosting accounts, and if you weren't aware, that is a big no-no in South Korea. They frown upon that stuff big time, and it might as well be a crime in their eyes. They are not afraid to punish you big time and frown upon you, so there was just no way that Proper could be on this team. There's no way that the public would want a booster on their roster. What I'm actually a bit more disappointed in, though, is the fact that Prophet never got his opportunity. Supposedly he trialed, but just didn't make the cut, probably because Rush wanted the Dallas Fuel synergy, but I think this is really disappointing because Prophet is one of the most decorated players in the game. Proper might have more chances in the future, but Prophet, we don't know how many more years left he has before he moves on. And despite all of his accomplishments, his worldwide recognized achievements, and the fact that many people argue he's the GOAT, he's missing a World Cup. He's done basically everything else you could possibly do with the exception of a regular season Overwatch League MVP. He's won Apex, he's won Overwatch League, he's been a Role Star, Grand Finals MVP, but he doesn't have that gold medal that a lot of other legends that he's played with since the beginning of time have gotten. There's a couple of others aside from Prophet that are missing out, but he's one of the big names that jumps out at you. If he did this, he'd have the triple crown, and there's really nothing else left for him to achieve in his career, and he could really walk off into the sunset. As one of the most famous Korean players, I just feel like it's his birthright at this point to be on the team. Think about all of the other legends that have won stuff, such as Jaehong, Miro, Zunba, Saebyeobi, Jonak, the list goes on, but he is missing. He is a guy that needs to be added to the South Korean Overwatch World Cup legacy. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but it feels wrong to not have him here, and if this is the last opportunity that he'd ever get, then that sucks. But regardless, this team is sick, and it's obvious they mean serious business. Let me know what you think about this roster down in the comments below, and if you think anyone even stands a slight chance. If you enjoyed this reaction/news content and you want more Overwatch World Cup videos in the future, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I don't know how many more World Cup videos I will make, especially with Overwatch League right around the corner, but I'll definitely have a couple of things planned as I want to give as much attention to this event as I can. But until the next one, guys, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.